Hey, Brian Pitts, how you doing, sir?
Man, it's great to see you. I'm doing well.
Likewise. So you've got another beautiful mid-entry coach. What's going on behind you, sir?
Well, what we got going on here is a brand new 2022 model Newell, and I'm really excited about this one because it's built for some people that I just love. I met them several years ago at a NASCAR race. They have had another Newell, but this is their first custom build, and they are like the quintessential American success story. They made all of this the hard way, and they deserve this very much, and I'm so excited for them.
Well, I'd love to hear that. So this is a mid-entry coach, a lot of cool stuff that you guys are doing to just continue to raise the bar. What's going on?
Well, it is a mid-entry coach, and we've talked about those before. I love mid-entries because they serve a really practical purpose in a lot of applications. These people in particular have two large English cream golden retrievers, the most gorgeous, fun, playful dogs I've ever seen, and they both want to come outside at exactly the same time. So the extra width and room to maneuver coming out of that mid door saves the chances of taking a spill when you're taking the dogs out for a break.
So the mid-entry has a wider door than the front entry doors?
That in conjunction with not dealing with a co-pilot seat as you're coming around the corner to go out the door, yeah, results in a much easier entry and exit.
The paint scheme on this, you guys are continuing to raise the bar, and I'm noticing you guys are doing some stuff on the front of the coaches now, adding more detail work in the paint work. What's going on?
Well, we changed how the front end of it works. Previously it was made of glass, which was gorgeous. It showed the Newell logo through, and it really looked very nicely, but we had several requests for paint jobs that went through the front rather than stopping at the edge of the glass. So we've changed that to a composite nose so that we can paint down over the front of it. This guy in particular was very excited to work with Ryan Laux on his new paint job, and they came up with something I think is pretty special. This is actually the first time I've seen it fully outside of the building, and I was wowed by it.
I definitely agree with you. Definitely a wow factor. Well, let's take a little closer look here and give the folks on YouTube a close-up of this paint job, because from 5 or 10 feet away there's a lot of stuff that you don't see, but when you get down in here close, notice there's a little fade here from the black to the gold. A lot of cool stuff. What else is going on?
We have drop shadows on the pinstripes. We have varying width pinstripes. All of this was done custom between Ryan Laux and the client, and they did some ghosting in it with some pearl. You can kind of see it if you catch it in the light just right.
Yeah.
There's some absolutely beautiful colors of blue on this coach.
Yeah, I like it.
I think it's a timeless paint job. You know, it's just never going to be old and dated.
You know, I love how there's just different patterns going on where you've got these stripes going this way, which looks really cool, but then you also have another pattern stenciled in, and of course, as Brian mentioned, all the drop shadows, and there's just different fades going on throughout the coach. Stunning exterior.
We haven't peeled the stainless yet, so that'll add a layer to it, but that waits until right before delivery, which is coming up quick. On a mid-door coach, the front two bays pass all the way through. These blue canisters are the deionized water filters that work with the pressure washer. So on a mid-door, we've moved the plumbing bay forward to that way it allows for the number 4 slide passenger side front to be a larger slide. It's not interfering with the entry door. So on the other side, the entry door would be roughly right here. So this is the plumbing hookup here. He is a race car fan, so obviously we had to do carbon fiber on the trim for the bays. The fronts of the slide out trays are all carbon fiber and stainless steel.
Yeah.
He also collects classic cars, and he's got some gorgeous ones in his shop, and this is going to look so good sitting in there with them.
And then I like that access panel. What's going on behind that there?
So what we have here is this is the primary water pump, the large black one here. The one with the orange head on it there at the back is the backup water pump. They're also commonly used, like if you're dry camping, you'd be more likely to use the smaller pump because the large one makes 60 pounds of pressure at every faucet, and you can run through a lot more water that way. But it's also there nice as a backup.
Yeah, and talking about running through water, what's the size of the holding tanks in this coach?
Those are custom per customer. This one being built for just the couple, they did the standard sizes, which are 143 gallons fresh and 143 holding. That's kind of a Newell Coach philosophy thing. We don't separate black and gray. We set it up to where all of the fresh water will fit in the waste tank.
Yeah,
so if
sense.
it's a bunk bed coach with 2 showers, let's say, they might go with 180 fresh and 180 holding, but they're always the same size.
What's the size of the diesel fuel tank in this coach?
Those carry 205 gallons.
Wow. What's the towing capacity for Newell coaches?
So, and that's important in this case too. A lot of our clients will pull a stacker trailer with 3 8,000-pound axles, so the hitch rating is 25,000 pounds. And we've pre-plumbed it for air brakes or electric trailer brakes, depending on how it's set up.
Wow, so 25,000-pound hitch. I think that's the biggest in the industry that I know of.
To my knowledge, yes.
As far as Class A motor coaches.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this next bay back on a center entry coach, this one is going to be the electronics bay. This coach isn't fully ready for delivery, obviously, or the access panels would be on there. But this is our electronics bay with the solid state fuse compartment, the 2 inverters, and the 110 volt panels. These devices here control the inflation and deflation of the seals around the slides. They're air sealed.
Yeah, no, this does have the new N1 system too. I did get a chance to do a video all about that with James Nethery and the engineering department. Really top notch. How have customers been reacting to the new N1 system?
It's been very, very positive. This will be the 9th coach we've got out with the N1 system, and once the learning curve is accomplished, everyone really reacts positively to it. Next bay back is another pass-through storage bay. And then finally is the fuel bay. We always put a camera on the fuel bay so that you can see when you're lined up with the fuel pump, so you don't have to stretch the hose.
Yeah, and I love how you guys finish those out, and you've talked about that bib.
Yeah.
To keep
with all
any
that
spill.
polished stainless, you know, you don't want to be dripping death on it, so we put the little bib in there.
Yes, sir. And how big is the DEF tanks?
15 gallons.
15 gallons. So 205 diesel, 15 DEF. Okay. Yeah. When you were pulling this coach out and turning it, I noticed the wheel really turning. How is it able to turn so tight?
That's a big deal for us. We've done that for a number of years, actually since 2004, and having a active steering tag axle, and that's the key. There have been a number of attempts at a passive steering tag axle, and the drawback to that is it only works while you're steering forward. When you put it in reverse, it has to be straight so that the pins can lock it in. Otherwise, the friction of the tires will cause the axles to turn, and you'll be scooting your tag tires. So that the way people are taught to drive with one of those is, as you pull up to your site, you need to pull forward 5 or 6 feet to give it plenty of time to lock in and then back up. That's completely impractical in most campground situations. There's just not room to drive straight before you back the thing in. So we have actually, from the very beginning of this, it's been an active steering tag axle. It's actually connected to the hydraulics on the coach, to the hydraulic steering system on the coach. So as you turn the front wheels past 15 degrees, the back wheels will turn in and start steering as well.
Definitely a huge advantage, and I don't know anybody else in the industry that does that.
I'm not aware of anyone either.
Newell's always cutting edge. A lot of stuff you guys do different than everybody else. Engine compartment, what's going on back here? What's the power plant?
This is a X15 Cummins. It's 605 horsepower and 1,950 pounds of torque. And we're a big fan of a well-detailed engine bay.
Oh yeah.
It's got a lot of polished stainless steel on it. It has LED lights that illuminate the engine bay. We deliberately use a wide weave on the inserts so that you can see all of the polished through it. And as well as at night, the LEDs will shine through.
And you got an air compressor back here. Now, is there enough pressure to pump your tires up?
Typically not off of the engine-driven compressor, so we install a device called an air doubler that takes in, it works on the same principle as, say, a pressure washer. It takes in high-volume, low-pressure air, and through a reciprocating piston design sends it out as low-volume, high-pressure air. It'll pump about 160 psi.
And then I always like to get everybody a close-up. Look at that huge fan. That'll cool off that the 605 horsepower.
605.
Yeah. On a mid-door coach, what's going to be different on this side in the basement bays than on a front door coach?
So the biggest thing you would notice that the fuel bay is really still in the same place as always. So fuel and house batteries go here. Typically on a front door coach though, plumbing bay would be here. On a mid-door coach, we've moved the plumbing bay one forward so that it doesn't interfere with the mid-door, and that gives us room to still do a 13.5-foot slide on this side. So this one is the pass-through storage that I showed you from the other side.
Yes, sir. And these all have those remotes that we've showed in other, yeah.
And then plumbing bay here, this is a 49-inch television on a remote-controlled arm that swings out. And then these are the two pass-throughs that we looked at on the other side of the coach as well.
With the freezer fridge here on this side.
Got to have that when you're a NASCAR fan. It's very important.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing inside of this coach.
Awesome. I'm excited to show you. Come on in.
Wow, Brian, you guys just raised the bar with every coach, it seems like.
Thank you. I really like this one. Like their taste is just perfect. It's just like I said about the outside. I think this coach is timeless, both floor plan, color scheme, and everything. I think it'll still be turning heads 25 years from now.
Yeah, I definitely agree. So on a mid-entry coach here, the cockpit's going to be a little bit different than we see on a front entry. I think this is the one of the big benefits of the mid-entry coach is your passengers super comfortable up here.
Yeah, and she is really a lot like my wife. She generally has the dogs and a blanket and an iPad and a Yeti full of soda, and you know this is her area that we don't have to disassemble to go outside and kick tires on the tow car.
What type of a leather is this, or what's going on here?
This is Edelman leather from Italy. It's an embossed leather, and this pattern is ostrich.
Wow, very cool. So not real animal skin, but gives it that look.
That's right.
Awesome. Yeah. Very cool.
Holds up like cowhide, looks like an exotic leather.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, so the Newell Coach cockpit area here, and I know you've demonstrated this in some other videos, but what's all going on up front here?
Well, what I really like to do is light it up. And this customer hasn't seen this yet. His previous coach was a 2016 model, and so this has changed quite a lot from what he's used to. But look at all the controls you have available to you here. Garmin navigation unit over here. The multi-function display here goes through a number of different functions on the coach. Tire pressures, brake life. That indicates that all of the compartment doors are safe. They would show red if one of them was open. Steering assist is adjustable off of this page. That will be engine data. If we were moving, that would be functioning. And then these are the pre-drive items that need to be handled before we take off. The coach is not at ride height. All the slides need to be retracted, so you can kind of check those off before you go. And then there's a number of settings pages where you can go through the different functions on the coach and get it set just like you like, different foreground and background colors, miles per hour prominent, kilometers prominent, depending on where you're traveling. And then, of course, back to speed.
Very cool. So you can change the colors and everything?
Yes.
Can you demonstrate that?
Sure can.
Very cool. So you can change all the different colors. So are these seats massaging, or what's all heated, cooled?
They're heated, cooled, and massage. And
Nice.
this one that I'm sitting on is actually an air ride seat too, which is really nice on long days and rough roads. You know, you can kind of adjust all of the functions. It has multi-position lumbar support and lateral support, adjustable arms, and of course with the air ride, the cool and the massage, you can go a long ways without getting beat up.
Yes, sir.
So you can run really most all driving functions. The mirror controls are here. They work by just selecting the mirror that you want to run and then using the arrows. Cameras, you have a number of inputs on that, including a 360 camera, which is nice if you're moving in tight spaces. This one looks a little odd because this part isn't designed to be used while the slides are out. Ordinarily, it would show you a clean 360 view around the coach.
You can see our shoes right there. We took our shoes off.
Obviously, you can connect the phone to it. The climate control for the dash is controlled up here. Audio functions, Bluetooth for your phone, leveling. This is really nice. You can manually, if you want to dump water off the top of it, you can just hit auto. You can raise and lower in the level position. On travel mode, we've talked about this on a couple of videos. We have a high ride function if you need extra clearance to get over a rise, normal ride, and low ride if you need extra adjustment to get under something that's low. And then the smart ride is a big deal too. What that allows us to do is when the coach is traveling at highway speed, it's set for 55 miles per hour. When it's traveling at highway speed, it doesn't need to carry the same amount of air pressure in the airbags as it does at lower speed maneuvering. So at highway speed, when you turn the smart ride on and we reach speed, it will lower the coach about an inch, also lowering the pressure in the airbags, and it gives you a smoother ride on rough roads.
Nice. Smart. Then that's the smart ride system.
That's the smart ride system. That's been a big game changer, and I've had the opportunity to drive a couple of coaches with that on there over roads that I'm familiar with, right where the bumps are, and it makes a big difference in the ride on the coach.
And when did Newell Coach release that? What was the first coach with smart ride?
That one came with Coach 1730 off the top of my head. The coach that I had in Michigan this summer, which was 1732, was the first one I had driven with it, and I was very impressed with it.
Nice, nice. And everything going forward will have that, obviously.
Yes, yeah, that's standard now.
Yeah.
This is kind of a backup to this multifunction indicator here in the center. This will give you all of them kind of at a glance, every coach function. Shade functions for the front shades are up here as well. You've got screens which allow for just filtering sunlight, and then actual shades for privacy.
Nice.
And then column memory, I have this one set on auto, so as soon as I turn off the park brake, it goes to my preset, and then when I turn the park brake back on, it goes to my exit position.
Nice.
You can do it manually with the triggers on the steering wheel, but I really like to have the auto set up, and it just kind of puts it right where I liked it last time.
Nice. And I just noticed on that steering wheel, is that suede on the steering wheel?
It is. That's a thing that I actually told this client about. Amber, our decorator, did this on my show coach, and I was really surprised at how much nicer it is to the hand feel when you're on a really long trip. It's 1,400 miles from here to Naples, and I did it in 2 days, and that really stuck with me, how nice that was. So he did that on his new build too. And this final tab here is all your service access lines. Also some other functions like setting up your Bluetooth and that sort of thing, but this is the tab you would touch if you need to get in touch with our 24-hour emergency service hotline. Those guys work 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. They're always there available for you.
Regardless of the year of the coach?
Regardless.
Wow.
Yeah.
So then up here, I'm noticing here in the passengers area too, the passenger has a navigation screen up here as well, it looks like?
Yes. So we do that deliberately, a nav screen on both sides, and this is pretty functional really for the way my wife and I use it as well. I'll program the final destination in this nav screen on my side, like say if we're going to Pelican Lake in Naples, we'll put that in here, that address, and then as it's time to find a place to pull over for fuel or to spend the night or whatever, she'll program in that waypoint in that one on that side, and I can mute this one and follow that one, and then my route stays programmed in from the day before on this one.
Nice.
The passenger has a screen over here that allows them to control a lot of things from this side. There's music controls and climate control on this screen as well. So if you're in heavy traffic and you can't take your eyes off the road, the passenger can help you out here too.
Yeah. Now, is this part of that N1 system?
No, this is actually part of the new dash.
Okay.
We've had that for a couple of years.
Okay, cool.
Another on that line, another thing that's really nice is the iPad is removable. So if you need to adjust climate control in the coach or run shades, lights, or whatever, start the generator, you can take this out of the cradle and hand it to your passenger and ask them to do it so you're not distracted from the road.
Well, we're talking too, I'm noticing above you here, I believe this is part of the Newell N1 system here.
That is definitely part of it. So this is one of the panels that you would go to in the new system. Instead of going outside and pulling fuses to check and see if you've got a blown fuse, it will show right on here whether or not you have an issue. As you go through the different panels, it will say, you know, Salon lights, and the color will indicate that that needs to be reset, and you can reset it right from here. If it trips again, then the service department can communicate with that system and find out what's happening. It's kind of a self-diagnostic tool.
Nice. And then you also have your auto leveling,
the manual
and slide
override
controls.
for the leveling is here, and the manual override for the slide controls are here.
Nice. I like that sleek. Looks like you guys have kind of changed the styling up there. I like how that front end looks up here.
Yeah, a lot of this stuff was surface mounted on previous coaches, and as you would look through the coach, you'd see a lot of red and blue switch panels. Handy, tactile feedback, easy to see, but look how clean this looks.
Yeah.
You don't see those red and blue panels everywhere that we've had on the coaches. So this black panel that you see on the wall by the galley right there, that will light up when you touch it, and it will control everything the red and blue switch panels used to control. It's just all done on a single black glass panel now.
Yeah, very cool. And I've just got to point out while we're talking, the camera doesn't do the justice of all the patterns and a lot of cool stuff going on. So is there a particular theme for this coach, or any inspiration?
As far as inspiration goes, I really don't know. This is obviously a custom, and the client worked directly with Amber on this, and just, you know, having been to their home a couple of times, I can see where some of this came from. This is definitely her.
Nice.
Like I definitely feel her in here.
Nice. I like all the different textures on the ceiling. I've got to get everybody close up, and all of the different lighting. Now they have 2 recliners over here. They also did the half booth, kind of like we saw on the Texas Aggie coach.
Yeah, really, kind of a neat deal, especially when the dinette is extended. You know, it'll come out another 14 inches, both the bench seat on the other side as well as the tabletop, and you can see where that would be a really comfortable setup there.
Yeah.
And they have really good friends that they travel with who are also Newell owners, and I can see there being some card games and cocktails happening around that table.
Yeah, they're definitely having card games in style and happy hour in style in this coach. This couch behind you, I really like this 2 different textures, like almost like a gray cloth, and then the leather as well. Now, does this fold out into a sleeper? Or?
It does, and this is a relatively new development. Previously, you had to choose whether or not you wanted a recliner or a sleeper couch, because the recliner mechanism would take up where the sleeper couch would go, and vice versa. Relatively recently, the first time I saw it was this summer, we are able to do both. We're able to have a reclining mechanism as well as a sleeper couch all in the same unit. It's just a very low profile recliner.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen that before. So then there's, how will that sleeper fold out? Is it a jackknife, or?
No, it's a traditional hide-a-bed. Okay. You know, the 3-stage fold-out, air up the mattress hide-a-bed.
Nice.
Really a pretty nice unit.
Nice. And I just noticed, we were just demonstrating the dash, and we didn't shut the engine off.
Oh, I didn't notice either.
It's so quiet in here. I've got to point that out. I didn't really even notice it was still running until, and that's a 1950 foot-pound torque diesel engine back there. So definitely says a lot that we didn't do that. But should we turn that engine off?
Sure.
Yeah. So, and a really cool custom carpet here. And then also, too, this is kind of like the split ottomans, or a little different style than I've seen you guys do.
Yeah, a lot of people, especially in coaches where there's 2 recliners, will pick the split ottomans. That way you can take the saddle off, and each person has one. They work great as a TV tray. They work great as an extension for your recliner. They work great as a place to set your drinks while you're sitting there. So it is kind of nice in that setup to have 2 separate ones.
And then they do have storage as well.
Yeah, both of them.
Nice.
And we do little handles because you would pull them out and stick them under the dinette while you're traveling, so it's easier to slide them that way.
Okay. And these chairs that you guys use, just look, I mean, I've never sat in one of these, but that looks like just an extremely comfortable chair, almost like a European style to it.
Those are a nap trap right there. I can't even sit down in them, or 2 hours of my day will go away. They are so comfortable. These, when we bring the slides in, we'll turn them sideways, like face to face, and slide them against the wall, and it leaves a nice open walkway through here. They don't protrude out into the coach as much when they're turned sideways.
Yeah, so what else is going on in here?
So as I mentioned before, the table extends. This comes out 14 inches. The dinette booth itself does as well. And that makes room to very comfortably set 4 people around the coach. And often these little separate ottomans that we looked at earlier, they can be set at the end of the unit for overflow seating. And that works really nice too.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
They're the right height and they're comfortable, so it works nice if you're going to have 6 people over for dinner, cards, and cocktails.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. Well, this is a beautiful galley area here, and I notice, is this same countertop? Is this a different texture on the backsplash here, or almost looks like the same stone on the backsplash as well?
On the countertop as well as on the backsplash. It's got a really nice Blanco sink in here. I love these because you can dump your leftover coffee and tea in there and nothing stains. They're just very easy to take care of. And the reveal lighting is really nice here. This coach after dark, when you turn off the main lights and just have the accent lights on, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the glow is just incredible in here.
Yeah, Newell does an incredible job with their lighting. Now, all these accent pieces, I'm noticing some cool little decor pieces here. I like that. I noticed one over here that I'm wondering if there's any particular inspiration for it. It's kind of like the guy holding the globe here, or
right. Looks like Hercules with the earth on his back.
Yeah, is there any inspiration? You know the story behind that?
If there is, that is between Amber and the client.
Okay.
Amber decorated the coach for them to their taste, and the exciting thing about this for me is you and I are kind of getting a sneak peek at this coach. We deliberately just show them components. Like if they have a question, hey, how did the dinette turn out? This is during the construction process. I'll give them a deliberately poorly framed shot that just shows the dinette. Oh, it looks great. But they haven't seen any overall of this coach. Nothing outside, nothing inside. They've asked for pictures several times, and I've shot a picture of what they were asking for. But all of this leads up to, on November 10th, we deliver this thing, and it's going to be the first time they've ever seen it in pictures or in real life, and that is the best day. There's always tears. You know, the plant management and engineering and everybody goes out there with them when they see their coach for the first time, and it's a really great deal. Awesome day. I've
definitely heard some Newell customers talk about getting emotional because just an exciting time to live the American dream and make it all happen.
It's the fruits of their labor sitting right there in front of them. It's a very happy day, delivery day here.
Yeah, well, that's exciting. Well, let's keep taking a look here.
So on a center door coach, one thing I really like is it gives us another place to put the wine glasses. This is typically built into a header on a front door coach, but on a center door coach, really nice right here. There's a powered slide that comes out and covers the floor here, so you can step on that and reach up here to get this stuff out. And I think it dresses the door up just really, really nicely.
Yeah, really a cool look. And then they put those decor pieces in there just to even set it off even more. And we've talked in other videos about the big pluses of the mid-door coach. You're right next to your refrigerator and your half bathroom.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, you're in the center of everything as you're coming in and out. And these guys will go to resorts in the wintertime. And obviously, the center of their resort pad is right out there with the outdoor kitchen and all of that. But even when you're at NASCAR, you know, you're not out there by the road. Your tailgate area is back here, and so they're coming in, you know, through a screen door, which is really nice, right at the pantries, refrigerator, and half bath. It's just a perfect setup for somebody who's using indoor and outdoor living at the same time.
Yeah, so is this going to be for like a coffee maker, or what's going on here?
Actually, that is typically where we would put a coffee maker. That is not something they wanted. We did the access for them there with a plug-in, so they could put a Keurig at some point if that's what they want to do. But this one was not set up for a coffee bar.
Okay.
Just extra countertop space.
Cool. Storage down below here. Yeah, deep drawers. We've talked about those magnetic locks. So how do those locking mechanisms work again?
So this is really pretty cool. So in this receiver right here, there's a magnet. And as this gets in proximity, this pin will be pulled up into the bracket. So when it closes, it's a very positive close. And there's no chance of it coming open going down the road. And then to break it, you break that magnetic pin lock and you can pull it open.
Yeah, and I've seen those. I mean, you guys have been using those for at least 20 years, and I've opened and closed a lot of drawers on older coaches, and they still hold up really well. Yes, sir.
I really like that. And we really don't ship out very many replacements from the parts department, which gets me the impression that long term they work well. When the coaches come back in on trade, that's usually not something we have to deal with.
Yeah, if you make it right the first time, makes your life easier,
That's
right?
absolutely right. We're using a GE refrigerator now.
So industrial.
Yeah.
Those hinges are just serious.
Another thing we don't have to mess with a lot in the service department. The hinges keep the door square, and so there's not adjustments required. In the middle here, we have a waist height ice drawer, which is really convenient. The previous refrigerators we were using, it was in the bottom drawer, and that was much easier to get to. And this compartment is huge, and it can be adjusted from the control panel here on the bottom of the refrigerator up to be a refrigerator or down to be a freezer. This coach has an exterior freezer spec, and so in that situation, a lot of people will do a second refrigerator drawer here. This coach has really good pantry space too.
Wow, that's got to be 24 inches deep, or how?
Yeah, I would say close. Adjustable shelves on the upper. That's a custom item. You can order it with slide outs like this or with adjustable shelves. I like the adjustable shelves because you can make one wide enough to put a case of water in, and then smaller for the others at your preference.
Yeah, a lot of storage in this coach.
And then all of that is directly across from the half bathroom.
Yeah, and you guys never disappoint on the half bathrooms.
It's always beautiful.
And is that an underlit? What type of countertop, or quartz, or?
Yeah, that's a underlit agate countertop.
Underlit agate,
yeah.
And then looks like a bidet on the toilet. Those are becoming more and more popular, I hear.
Yeah, after the great toilet paper scare of 2020, now everyone wants bidets. And then in the master bedroom back here, I love the trend for nightstands.
Yeah.
Like previously, we built closets all the way down the side. That's nice for the storage, but it is so nice to have a nightstand with room to put, you know, your iPad. A lot of our clients have CPAP machines. There's a place to plug that in if that's what you're going to do. You know, a bottle of water, it's just nice to have a place to put your stuff right there beside the bed. And it also makes, you know, RV beds are notoriously difficult to make because they're just jammed in there.
Oh, yeah.
This makes it so much easier to get around the bed and make the bed.
That does make sense. I mean, I've got to demonstrate. I made my RV bed this morning, and it was not easy. But this definitely makes it a lot easier to get your hand back there. And one thing I've got to mention, the whole time we've been filming, out of the corner of my eye, I keep peeking back into this bedroom and looking at that accent wall. What a great looking accent wall.
Yeah, I like that too. That's a relatively new thing for us. We did a shower stall that way last year for the coach I took to Tampa, and it went over just really well with the Florida show market. This is the first one I've seen with it built into the wall, and it plays to that part we talked about earlier where when you shut off the main lights and the accent lights are fired up, oh my gosh, that looks so pretty.
I would bet money we're going to start seeing more of these and some more Newell coaches, because that's a really cool feature.
We've already spec'd a few.
Nice. Yeah, floor to ceiling too. Just gives it a real cool vibe in here.
Okay, there's another thing that I really like about this coach. Check this out. The insert on the pocket door is inspired by the paint job on the outside.
Wow. Yeah, that is really cool. That wall with the two different accent pieces that tie together so well. What a stunning coach.
So check out this master bathroom too. It has the underlit countertops also. Lots and lots of storage space.
Yeah. Oh, what a cool faucet. I've never seen anything like that. Can we turn that on just to show everybody, like, how does the water come out here and how do you wash your hands? Oh, that's cool. And it illuminates blue.
And if when the water gets hot, it will change to red. So
Too
cool. It will
cool.
warn you what temperature you have coming.
Oh, that is super cool.
And then all of this stuff opens up for storage.
Yeah, a lot of storage back there.
And then another thing that's kind of a Newell signature is we always hang the doors opposite, so as you're getting ready, you can see all three sides.
Yes, sir. Closet in the rear of the coach?
Yeah. Closet with a retractable door so that it's easier for loading and unloading. It's got drawers underneath. And then this is a heated towel bar here, so you've got a place to get your towels dry without having to have them just hanging out everywhere. And there's storage over it as well.
Yeah, I bet you that heated towel bar. It's a little cool in Oklahoma. I would have liked to have one of those this morning.
Right? It's chilly today.
Yes, sir.
And look at the inserts on the shower stall here.
Beautiful tile pattern. And again, it takes me a minute to even look for the drain. You can see the drains over there, but you could barely see that. Just so beautiful how they designed these. And then washer dryer in this coach?
Yep. Washer dryer is here, and it has retractable doors too, so they're out of the way while you're doing laundry.
Nice.
And in this position, it's really nice to have the top load, front load combination like you have here. If it's two front loaders, there's not a lot of room to maneuver right here, so it's just much easier to get the clothes out and put them in from this unit. This will hold about 2/3 of what the front loaders do, but in this mounting position, this unit makes a lot more sense.
Brian, I can't thank you enough for showing us this beautiful mid-entry Newell coach. Now, if someone's a serious buyer and they want to purchase either a new Newell or a pre-owned Newell coach, who should they get a hold of?
My name is Brian Pitts. I would love to help you with that. I can be reached at brianp@newellcoach.com.
Awesome. Well, Brian, can't thank you enough. Greatly appreciate you. I also greatly appreciate all of you out there on YouTube subscribing to the channel and liking these videos. I hope you're all having a great day. Thanks again.
Thank you. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you watching.